I want to talk about my dream really quick because I gotta leave. But if you all follow me on the Black Fit Witch on Instagram, I made a post in my stories in which I talked about how I was trying to kill this fly, and the fly continued to shapeshift. It would turn from one type of thing to another type of thing. The fly was shapeshifting. As I was like intentionally trying to kill this fly, it continued to upgrade. It continued to change. I could not kill it because it continued to change until it changed into this ball. It changed into a clear ball, and then I was able to drown it. All right. It was like I could see right through it. It changed to a ball, and then I was able to drown it. I was having my father in the dream. I was asking my father to step on it. When it was a fly, when it was a bee, when it was all these other objects, I was holding it down. And my father was moving so slow that it upgraded and escaped. So going through what that part of the dream actually means, and what kind of like a synopsis of what I've gotten over this morning of what that part means is that our energy can be focused in on um, things that may not be particularly part of what our focus should be on, right? We may focus on things that are totally out of our purpose, but we're focusing on something outside of our purpose. We're allowing it to upgrade, and it's going to metamorphosize into something different in another area of our life. It's just like if we're focused on certain people, may be focused on downfalls in their life, or possibly failures of what some people may call it, or unhealthy or unhealed relationships with themselves, or negative self-talk. If you're focused in on really trying to get rid of it and trying to change this and trying to change that, like I was really focused in trying to kill it, as I'm focused in trying to kill this fly and this bug, or this nuisance, I would say, in my life, I'm feeding it more energy, because as my focus is is actually exuding out and pushing out my chi. And so that energy or entity or object or person or situation will have an opportunity to mesh in with my chi, to feel and know what my next move will be, which allow it to upgrade itself, right? Once it upgrades itself, it changes, and you may not be aware of what that change is, and it's already a step up further than you are. So what I'm saying is, instead of focusing your energy and allowing that pinpointing your energy to something that's not healthy for you, all right. Instead of doing that, don't focus your energy on it. See it, allow it, stay in the present moment, but don't allow your energy or your chi to be fed into something that does not serve a purpose in your life. And I'm saying this because in Tai Chi, we learn something very key in Tai Chi, because it's a very slow, fluid movement. And even when we do push hands, which is a partnered movement, utilizing Tai Chi fluid movements, you flow and you move. It's almost like water, because you don't want your opponent to really feel your chi, but at the same time, you have to also feel the chi of your opponent. So if you are feeling the chi of your opponent, you'll actually know how to move to counteract their next move. And that's what's going on. Everything right now is so energetic, that if we're focusing our energy into something that is not bringing us up to a higher calling, that's not bringing us up to our divine purpose, that's not serving us in our forward movement, that's not feeding our essence or our soul or our being in any higher frequency purpose of a higher vibration, then we are oozing out our chi to that in which does not serve us, and we're allowing it to continue to upgrade and play itself out in different areas. of life, relationships, career, family, finances, everything. We're allowing it to play itself out. So I want you all to be very, very aware of where you're focused in on with things that you don't want to enter into your life. They may appear as a nuisance, like I'm saying. What time is it? I gotta. Okay. It may appear as a nuisance in your life, but you don't want to feed it any energy. All right. You want to see it, not give it any energy, stay in the present moment, stay grounded. Like I did in my post earlier today, drink plenty of water, go outside, ground, do some breath work. Make sure that you're sitting in meditation and just following the breath and connecting with that inner chi, putting your hands on your governing meridians in your body and the conception meridians of your body, making sure you're feeding yourself and focusing that energy back into you. Because when you're focusing that energy back into you, you are not feeding the opponent. You're not feeding that nuisance in your life. Okay. So that's one part. Now I want to go into, and I know I titled this The Origin of Origins. So, I have different parts of the dream where I go to sleep, I wake back up here, I go back to sleep, I'm in another part of the dream. So, about 2 hours ago, I was back asleep again. And in this part of the dream, I was in what seemed to be was like this library. And it had all of these books. I'm talking about just books. Each book had about 100 or so of them in there. And everything was just extremely intriguing. One of my Tai Chi instructors, Tai Chi master instructors, was there. And I was drawn to this book that was titled The Origin of Origins. And so when I saw the book, it had geometry on it. It had the sacred geometry on it. I'm really drawn to sacred geometry. If you all know, or you may not, I've talked about it before. My sacred geometry tattoos that's on my spine. I have 6 of them. And so I'm seeing these shapes on it, and it is in orange and red, and it says the origin of origins. And it's this, about this thick of a book. All right. Yeah, I see they're about this thick. And the cover is white. And it had one of those, inserts where the cover of it can be slipped on and off. It was a slip on top of the book. And so I saw my Tai Chi master teacher walk over to the book. Although I was already drawn to the book visually, I saw him walk over to the book, and no verbal communication, of course. He picks up the book, looks at it, and telepathically is saying to me that this is a good read. This is something that I need to know. This is a good read. I need to, check it out. So telepathically, I'm telling him, I was already drawn to it, and I'm definitely looking at it. So I pick up the book, and on the front of the book, like I said before, and once I pick up the book, I see more images. So it's not just these shapes, but then I also see like this Superman figure, and different clips of this like Superman hero in this outer space, along with the sacred geometry, or these different geometry shapes and symbols. And it's like I wanted to read that book. I wanted to go into that book, but then I put that book down because I'm seeing so many other books that were there on in the library. So going into that and thinking about that, the origin of origins, and going more into that. Our mind, what I picked up from this dream, the mind is easily distracted. Okay. The origin of origin, before I saw the origin of origins, I was shown another book, and I saw the origin of origins, even though that was the only book that I really picked up that I wanted to read. I ended up being distracted by everything else, all the rest of the books that were around me that seemed just as much as intriguing as well. But my focus should have been on the origin of origins, to get to, because it was called, the book was actually calling out to me and telling me, hey, if you want to know it was kind of like, if you want to know the secrets of the universe, if you want to know, and if you really want to get the in-depth information of the innate energy that dwells within you, you pick up this book and you read it and you take it with you. And instead of me going deeper into that book, I got distracted and I started looking around. Our dreams tell us something very clear about where we are in different phases and stages of our spiritual development. And so seeing that in that dream, and like when I woke up, I'm like, oh my gosh, why I didn't read the book? But it's also given me more insight into how I need to progress and be in more of a still present moment to be able to focus my energy into one. All right. So both of the dreams that I've described have a duality to it, if you paid attention to what I've said. So in the first dream, my focus was on killing the nuisance that was in my life, but also by killing this nuisance, which was represented as a fly, I was giving it my energy. I was feeding it chi, unconsciously feeding it my chi, where it was allowing it to upgrade to know my next moves and what it needed to upgrade to. Eventually, down the line, as you know, we went through this cycle, I was able to catch it at a point in which I was able to catch it before it could actually mesh in with my tree chi to upgrade. Second dream was the origin of origins, the book. I know I should have given it my focus, although it was of a higher calling and information and higher frequency in my life that would have given me more insight, possibly that I could have brought here into this reality to bring into my awareness and maybe share with others and help them with their awareness. But I didn't do that because my focus wasn't center lined into that book. It was a distraction of everything else. So first part letting me know not to focus, or letting you all know, letting everybody know, because the dream is not just for me. Letting us know that first, not to feed our energy into nuances in our lives, but to make sure that we segue that energy and streamline that energy into a focus of getting to an understanding of the true essence of our existence. And that is where our focus should be. That is where our energy should be pushed into. That's where our chi will get fed and we can feed back into it so we can know what our path should be as we elevate spiritually, and giving us a clear understanding of where we are in our spiritual path. So not going into that book, like I said before, allowed me an understanding of knowing that I need to sit more in meditation. I need to be more in the present moment. I need to bring myself back and be able to focus and streamline that energy to understand my origin of origins, knowing my beginning and my end and the reason for it here in this dimension. And also as I travel in my dream realm to other dimensions that are also part of my existences, that is part of my subconscious mind, that is allowing me, which is giving me the opportunity, which dreams are so very important and real, because in those present moments, it's giving me the opportunity to upgrade my essence, to upgrade myself, because we can't just use just this life in the so-called waking state as opportunities for learning, but we can also utilize these dream states as opportunities for learning and engaging and elevating ourselves. So I'm taking my dreams and giving more of a synopsis of what each part means. Now, last thing I want to share with you, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this. I also shared on the Black Fit Witch Instagram page, and I'm gonna have to write on the board. I want you all to see it. A part of the dream in which, because of several parts, I was rushing to get to the airport. My friend and her mom were there. I was going to go with them. I get out my gym bag, which is the only thing that I had. And I noticed I hadn't packed any clothes. I look in the car and I'm picking up, jogging pants, shoes, shirt, and all of those clothes were black. Nothing was of color. Everything was black going into this black bag. And then I closed the door. I dropped my keys and my purse, and it ends up getting caught in between the car door and the car, in between the car door. And I'm trying to get it out. So my friend, she comes over there and she's trying to help me get my keys out. And she's asking me, what's going on, why I'm frustrated. And I tell her, I didn't get to pack my bag and I don't have any clothes. I'm going to have to shop. And this is a reoccurring dream. I'm tell you all this. This is not the first time that I've had this dream where I'm rushing or I didn't pack my clothes to go on the flight. This has been coming up more and more in my dreams within this last year. So I'm going to go a little bit more into that and what that symbolizes. But anyway, she helps me, gets my keys out, gets my purse. And I was like, I don't have any clothes. She looks into the cubby hole in my dashboard. She pulls out a top, and it's black as well, and puts it in my gym bag. And, we walk on. Then the dream shifts. Now the dream shifts to where I'm having a third eye vision of these men putting together a plan for a restaurant that is desserts only, but it's an upscale dessert only restaurant in the Westin. Now on his book, and I'm gonna, hopefully you all will be able to see it. On his he was looking at, that's not coming up, but he was looking at a magazine, and he was writing on the magazine, but he was talking to his partner. All right. Now, his business partner, I think they may have, it may have been a homosexual relationship or something like that. He had a very feminine nature to him. But anyway, he spelled Westin. He did W-E, but he did the S like this, T-I-N. Now, it's very weird in my dream that the S was backwards and not forwards. And even in my third eye vision, I was saying, why did he write it like that? So I'm looking at, even just this part of the word. And then more clearly, I'm diagnosing the S. Because when we think about the S, we're not just thinking about, we can look at the S, we can look at also S also coincides with the 5, but the S also, to me, represents the Kundalini energy. And it also represents the caduceus of those two snakes. So this is, to me, a snake energy. So, and the snake energy for me is a higher knowing, is an enlightenment. It's not just, it's just an S. It means so much more. So the awareness of first talking about opening a restaurant in the West End, and then the emphasis was on the S of raising that Kundalini energy up, of why he even wrote that backwards, and then for them to be two men, one representing more feminine energy, because like I said before, he appeared to me to have more of a feminine nature, and then the man that was next to him, which was his business partner and possibly one of his confidants or lovers, was representing the masculine energy, and them coming together to implement a high-end restaurant that served only desserts. And he was a baker. He was like a cook, or it was something. He was a chef in regards to preparing only desserts. And I don't know what you call that. I think it's a fancy name for it. I don't know. But really focusing in on that S. And this dream came to me before I went into the dream of the origin of origins. So going back, reflecting on that, having the all black clothes, going into the deep consciousness state of the mind. I'm getting ready to catch a flight. I don't have anything to take with me. I'm still looking for things. I'm trying to not release and let go of the ego and not move on to a higher state of consciousness, because I'm getting ready to go. I'm getting ready to go on a plane. So I'm feeling like I need these things to go with me, which are still attachments, but they're in all black. I don't need these attachments. I'm going into the deep consciousness states of my mind. And then as I do that, I'm taken to the sweet part, him opening up, a restaurant, but him writing the S backwards of me, of that representing the Kundalini energy, that S, that caduceus, that the snakes, raising my energy up so I could go to the origins of origins. But me getting to the origin of origins book and not being able to completely open that book gave me the knowledge and the awareness that even though all of that had been done, going back looking at that, I was still holding on to attachments and losing my focus. So don't hold on to attachments and lose focus here, because as we also travel the multiverse, we need to have the same focus here to bring it there, and vice versa. So I have to go, you all. I did want to expand more on the dream and more of what I'm getting from the S and the Weston. But if you have any thoughts into what this symbolism actually means to you, please don't hesitate to comment. Make sure you follow me on the Blackfit Witch on Instagram. And I look forward to sharing more of my dream revelations with you. Peace and high frequencies.